I swear I had no idea. Not a single clue. We'd made it to 10 years. A full decade. I thought we were that couple, boring, maybe, but solid. No fireworks, but no bombs either. I genuinely believed we were in this together. So when I say this next part blindsided me, I mean it ran me over like a bus I never saw coming. My wife, Julia, and I met in college. She was bright, driven, always the first to raise her hand. I was the guy who made sarcastic comments from the back row and somehow still got A's. We were opposites in the classic way, but we worked. At least I thought we did. 10 years later, I'd planned this anniversary party for weeks. Rented out the upstairs of a charming Italian restaurant. Brought in a little jazz trio. Even convinced her dad, a retired firefighter who barely leaves his recliner, to fly in from Arizona. There were 80 people there. Our families, our coworkers, our closest friends. All seated in rows of candle-lit tables, sipping wine and waiting for dinner to be served. I was standing near the front, holding a glass of Prosecco, ready to make my toast. And then Julia beat me to it. She stood up, clinked her glass, and smiled. I thought she was about to toast me. Say something sweet. Maybe something cheeky and embarrassing like she always did. Instead, she said this. I know this is unexpected, but I have to be honest. I can't keep lying to myself or to you. I'm leaving. I've fallen in love with someone else. With Grant. Murmurs erupted across the room. I blinked. Grant? Her boss? I didn't want it to happen, she said, her voice shaking just enough to sound sincere. But it did, and I can't ignore it anymore. I'm sorry, Tom. My full name. Not babe, not honey. Tom. Like I was someone she barely knew. I stood there, frozen, like my entire operating system had crashed. I looked over and saw Grant, the regional director at her office, standing awkwardly near the dessert table like he'd rather crawl into the cannoli tray and disappear. Someone laughed nervously. Someone else dropped a fork. My mother audibly gasped. My best friend Dan mouthed, what the actual F? And then her father, good old Rick, grizzled firefighter and no-nonsense patriarch, stood up and bellowed. You're leaving your husband of 10 years. For your boss? At the damn anniversary party, he threw for you. You could have heard a pin drop after that. Rick walked over to me, placed a hand on my shoulder, and said loud enough for everyone to hear, You don't deserve this, son. She's on her own now. He turned to his daughter, his only daughter, and said something I'll never forget. You're not my daughter today. Not after this. Julia's face fell. She looked shocked, like she actually didn't expect people to be mad at her. Grant tried to slither over to support her, but Rick gave him a look that could curdle milk, and the coward backed off. I didn't cry. Not then. I think I was too stunned. I just walked out. Didn't even make it to the parking lot before Dan caught up with me. He didn't say a word, just handed me a flask and sat next to me on the curb while I drank. Behind us, we could still hear shouting, glasses clinking, chairs being scraped back, Julia's voice, pleading, rising, breaking. It was chaos, and I had no idea that it was only the beginning. Because over the next 7 months, Julia's perfect little fantasy life would collapse one brutal piece at a time, and I wouldn't even have to lift a finger. Karma had her number, and it was coming with interest. The party was on Saturday. By Monday morning, the entire office knew. I wasn't sure how word got out so fast. Maybe someone posted something. Maybe Julia's dad vented to one of his old firehouse buddies who still knew people. All I know is that by 9 a.m., Grant and Julia's names were trending. Inside the company Slack. Let me backtrack a bit. Julia worked in marketing at a mid-sized tech firm. Grant, the man she blew up our marriage for, was her direct supervisor. Her married direct supervisor. Yeah, turns out, Julia wasn't just the other woman in my life. She was the other woman in his too. Grant had a wife, 2 kids, a golden retriever named Elvis. Picture-perfect LinkedIn profile. He looked like the guy who did inspirational TED Talks about leadership while embezzling on the side. Anyway, I didn't hear any of this from Julia. She didn't reach out after the party. Not a single text. Not even to say sorry again. I heard it from Dan. He called me the Monday after the party, barely able to talk through his laughter. Dude, you are not going to believe what's going on at our office right now. Apparently, the company's HR team had no clue about the affair. Julia and Grant had kept things under wraps. No paper trail, no documented complaints. But the moment it became public, things escalated. First, you can't be in a relationship with a subordinate. It's not just frowned upon, it's a liability nightmare. Julia knew that. Grant definitely knew that. And now, thanks to her little anniversary mic drop, everyone else knew too. The company launched an internal investigation by Wednesday. Julia was put on leave. Grant was asked to work from home indefinitely, which in corporate speak means we're building your exit package, sit tight. By Friday, I heard that Grant's wife had kicked him out. She filed for divorce the next week. Julia moved in with him. Briefly, their little love nest lasted 17 days. 17. Dan and I timed it, from what we pieced together. And I'll admit, we were both shamelessly following the drama like it was a Netflix series. Julia quickly found out that living with Grant wasn't all candlelight and champagne. He was stressed, angry, paranoid, snapped at her constantly, accused her of ruining his life whenever she tried to talk about feelings, told her he didn't sign up for this, like she had forced him to cheat. The irony? She thought she was trading up. Trading me, the guy who washed dishes without being asked and spent Sunday mornings fixing her mom's leaky sink, for a big shot in a suit. But all she got was a resentful, bitter middle manager with a crumbling career and an ex-wife with a very good lawyer. Within 3 weeks, Grant asked her to move out. Julia tried to go back to her parents. They said no. Her dad didn't even answer the phone. Her mom told her she was disappointed beyond words. So she couch surfed, stayed with a co-worker for a bit, then a friend from college, then another. She texted me, finally, for weeks after the party. Just one message. I made a mistake. I stared at that text for 10 full minutes before replying. I typed, I know. Then I turned off my phone, poured myself a whiskey, and smiled for the first real time in a month. Because that was only the first crack in her fantasy. And what came next was pure, beautiful implosion. By the time week 5 rolled around, she was circling back hard. Julia didn't just send one text. She sent many. Most were vague, emotional bait. You know the kind, thinking about everything a lot lately. Can we talk sometime? Just talk. I miss stability. Stability. She didn't say she missed me. She missed being able to breathe in a life she hadn't burned down yet. I didn't respond to any of it at first. I was playing a long game. And trust me, nothing in the world feels more powerful than the silence you give to someone who thought they could break you. But then she did something I didn't expect. She showed up at my house. It was a Thursday evening. I'd just come back from a jog and saw her little blue sedan parked on the curb. At first, I thought it was a neighbor's guest. Then I saw the figure slouched in the front seat. She looked wrecked, eyes puffy, hair pulled into the kind of messy bun that's not Instagram cute, but I haven't washed it in 2 days real. She stepped out slowly, holding a paper bag and a coffee cup like peace offerings. I opened the door, but didn't step aside. She smiled soft, unsure. Hey, I nodded. Hey, she held up the bag. I brought that pumpkin loaf you like. And coffee. I remembered you always needed a second wind around this time. I didn't say anything. Tom, she started, voice already catching. I don't even know where to begin. But I know I have to try. She didn't cry yet. Not really. Just glassy eyes and that dramatic pause women like her use when they're waiting for you to feel sorry enough to fill in the silence. I made the worst mistake of my life, she said. I hurt you. I hurt everyone. And I thought I was doing what made me happy. But it was all fake. Grant, that thing we had, whatever it was, he didn't love me. I don't even think he liked me. I was just convenient. You were real. You always were. And I see that now. She actually stepped forward like she was about to hug me. Like she thought all it would take was a teary speech and a baked good for me to crumble. That's when I stopped her. I stepped onto the porch, closed the door behind me, and let her words hang in the air for a second. Do you remember what you said to me at our anniversary party? I asked. Her lips parted. Tom, please. You said you had to be honest. I continued. That you couldn't keep lying to yourself, and that you were in love with someone else. Her eyes dropped. You didn't just hurt me. You humiliated me. In front of our families. My co-workers. Your father. 80 people who watched me get blindsided like a punch to the face. I know, she whispered. No, I don't think you do, I said. Because if you did, you wouldn't be standing here asking for a do-over like this as a rom-com and not a dumpster fire you lit and walked away from. She finally started crying. I'm not here to beg, she lied. I wanted to take responsibility, to see if there's anything left, any part of you that still believes in us. I leaned against the porch railing, let her twist, and then I gave her what she really came for. Not closure, not forgiveness, but hope, the kind that feels like a lifeline. Right before you cut it, I'll let you in, I said. Her face lit up. Really? Yeah, I nodded. You can come in. Stay for dinner. Let's catch up. I watch her heart crack back open. Watch her pick it up like broken glass and press it against her chest. And then, slowly, I smiled. Just kidding. The color drained from her face. You can keep the coffee, though, I said, stepping back inside and closing the door. I drink mine without betrayal now. Click. Lock. I didn't even look out the window to see her reaction. I didn't need to. Dan texted me 10 minutes later. She peeled off like a damn Fast and Furious extra. Apparently, she was sobbing so hard, she almost sideswiped a trash can. It felt good. Not because I'm cruel, but because for once she felt small. For once, I was the one in control of the narrative. But her story wasn't done unraveling, because she was about to lose something that hurt even more than love. She was about to lose her reputation. And I wasn't even the one who lit the match. By month 3, Julia was radioactive. She didn't just lose me. She didn't just lose her job. She lost her image, that curated little persona she spent years building. And trust me, for someone like Julia, that was the real heartbreak. See, Julia thrived on appearances. She wasn't just career-driven. She was the star girl boss in her office, head of the women's mentorship group, all about lifting other women up. On socials, she was always posting cute captions with hashtags like hashtag women supporting women and hashtag marriage goals next to filtered selfies of us on vacation. She had carefully crafted her life to look perfect, and for the most part, she pulled it off. People envied her. I'd heard it from coworkers and even family. You two are the couple everyone else is jealous of. Yeah, well, then she made a public spectacle of detonating our marriage. The aftermath wasn't immediate, but crept in like water damage behind wallpaper, slow, quiet, and inevitable. It started on Facebook. A mutual friend, someone who had been at the anniversary party, posted a cryptic status. Something like, "It's wild watching people destroy their lives for a fling with someone who wears bootcut khakis." That post got hundreds of likes. The comments were a bloodbath. People knew. The story spread, in pieces at first. Whispers, screenshots, retellings warped by secondhand gossip. But the bones were always the same. She left her husband for her boss during their anniversary party. And once people knew, they turned on her. The group chats she used to be in, she got booted. The yoga class she used to attend every Thursday, suddenly, she wasn't welcome. Even the PDA moms, who used to treat her like royalty, started canceling playdates with a woman who publicly embarrassed her husband for a guy who got demoted and dumped her. Because yeah, Grant got fired. Turns out HR found enough in their investigation to terminate him with cause. Julia tried to play the victim. She posted a long-winded apology on Instagram, something about mental health, not feeling seen, and how women are punished more harshly than men for infidelity. I don't know what made her think that was a good idea, but the internet disagreed. Loudly. You humiliated your husband in front of your family. Own it. Cheating isn't a trauma response. You didn't fall in love. You fell into bed with your boss. The post got ratioed so hard she deleted it within 48 hours. But by then, the damage was done. Screenshots were everywhere. Even Reddit caught wind of it. Someone posted a full write-up in her True Off My Chest. And somehow, I became a little bit of a folk hero. No, seriously. One of the guests at the party had filmed the moment Julia made her announcement. Not the whole thing, just a shaky 45-second clip of her standing up, saying, "I'm leaving," and her dad's brutal response. "You're not my daughter today. Not after this." It hit TikTok. Got over 2 million views in 3 days. People loved Rick. Called him Fire Dad. Said he deserved his own series. Someone even made a meme of him with a firefighter helmet and the caption, "Putting out fires," and "Burning down Boolst." I didn't ask for any of this. I didn't post anything, didn't comment, didn't engage. But watching Julia's empire of curated perfection collapse in public was surreal. She started emailing me. First, they were apologetic. I never meant to hurt you. I don't even recognize who I was. Then, they turned desperate. Please, can we meet? Just once. I need closure. Then bitter. I hope you're enjoying this. Sitting back while the internet ruins my life. Spoiler, I was. But not because I wanted revenge. I didn't post a TikTok. I didn't share the story. I just let the truth breathe, and that was enough. Because when someone's entire persona is built on lies, all you have to do is stop covering for them. The rest takes care of itself. And while she was spiraling, begging the world to take her side again, I was quietly rebuilding mine. Because there was one more surprise waiting for her. And it had my name on the title deed. By month 7, I had everything she wanted, and none of it had her name on it. Let me explain. While Julia was spiraling, losing job offers, getting ghosted by friends, and leaving unanswered emails in my inbox, I was healing. Quietly. Intentionally. I switched therapists. Started working out again, really working out, not just the angry jogs. Got off social media completely. Reconnected with a few friends I'd lost touch with during the image management phase of our marriage. And the biggest change? I moved. Not just into a new apartment. I bought a house. It wasn't massive, but it was mine. 3 bedrooms. A home office. A backyard with enough room for a smoker and a hammock. A place I could paint how I wanted. A kitchen I could cook in without tiptoeing around someone else's judgments about too much garlic. Dan helped me move in. He cracked a beer on the porch that first night and said, "Man, you look like someone who just escaped a cult." He wasn't wrong. Julia had spent so long crafting the image of our life, I hadn't realized how much of myself had shrunk to fit inside it. The house was a reset, a full one. New furniture, new routines, new locks. My lawyer even finalized a divorce while I was unpacking boxes. She never contested it. Maybe she didn't have the strength. Or maybe she thought she'd win me back. She tried one last time. It was a Thursday, mid-October. The leaves were just starting to fall. I was on the porch, watering a stubborn potted plant, when I saw her walking up the driveway. She looked normal. Not broken, not dramatic. Just plain. Jeans, hoodie, hair tied back. No muck-up. She held a folder in one hand, a bag in the other. I didn't say anything until she got to the steps. "Hi, Tom," she said. I raised an eyebrow. "You're not supposed to know where I live." She smiled faintly. "Small world. Your cousin posted a pic of your backyard on Facebook." I recognized the fence. I made a mental note to yell at my cousin later. "I'm not here to cause drama," she said. "I'm not even asking for anything. I just wanted to return some things and give you this." She held out the folder. Inside were old photos, cards, a couple of letters I'd written her during our first year of marriage. Mementos she kept. "I thought maybe you'd want them," she said. I nodded. "Thanks." She hesitated. "This place is really nice. Peaceful." "It is." She looked like she was waiting for more. A crack in the armor. A sigh. A handshake. Anything. But I gave her nothing. "I was on therapy," she said suddenly. "For the first time ever. I've been trying to understand why I sabotaged everything. I think I was scared. I thought I needed more. Something exciting. Something different." But I held up a hand. "Julia," I said gently, "you don't have to explain." She looked surprised. "You did what you did. You left. You said it was what you needed. That's fine. But I don't owe you forgiveness. Or closure. Or friendship." She swallowed hard. "So that's it." I looked around my porch. My home. My new life. "That's it." She nodded slowly. "Put the bag on the step. There's some of your old books in there. And the scarf your mom knit you." I nodded again. She turned to leave, and for a second, she paused at the end of the walkway like she was hoping I'd call after her. I didn't. I waited until she got in the car, started it, and pulled away. And then I picked up the folder and the bag, walked inside, and placed them on a shelf in the hallway closet out of sight, out of mind. I didn't throw them away. Not because I wanted to keep pieces of her, but because they were pieces of me once, too. But that's all they were now. Pieces. What I had now was a whole life. Mine. And that was the best ending I could have ever written.